Recording's restarted because... Or not restarted entirely, but because my computer crashed for some reason. Anyways, it's back to recording. Ando was talking to me.
I was asking you for an insight check.
Okay. Oops, that went the wrong way on my table. Hold on. It jumped out of my dice box. Okay, so that's 17 plus... Oh god, all my tabs closed. Hold on. I think my insight's a 3. I'd have to check. 3 or 4. 4, so that would be 21? Yeah, 21.
Okay. When he says brusque, he means it very euphemistically.
Mm-hmm.
There is a look in expression when you bring her up that is very... slightly unpleasant.
Mm.
And he sort of... We don't get very much along, unfortunately. So I don't speak to her often. It's not really a problem. There's not any love lost there at all. Makes some family gatherings a little awkward, but we do our best around Gunman. She is, well, it is often best that we aren't in the same room.
Julius gives like a slight smile. Like he finds it a little bit amusing.
Hey, no. It's her that causes the problems.
I can imagine. She's a very stubborn person.
Oh, she's stubborn as a mule. She's, It's not even her stubbornness. That I can understand, you know. It sort of runs in the family. We're all a little bit like mules at heart. But, it's more she's so condescending.
Oh. He'll kind of like lean a little bit forward like he's like conspiratorially a little bit.
I mean... She gets on such a high horse around me. She thinks I am some sort of degenerate, you know, some sort of...
No.
She calls me unemployed and like I am some... I think it's so funny, you know. She uses this against me as if she too is not unemployed, you know. As if she is not the wastrel, you know. She's always going on, you know. Oh, I'm the one who takes care of Grandmother. I'm the one who cares for her. Yada yada yada. You know, it's not my fault I grew up halfway across the fucking continent and wasn't here for that long. And I care for her in my own ways. I'm not, you know, tottering after her all the time. She doesn't need that yet, no matter what Aura says. It's,
Julius is nodding along in agreement. That's a very tough situation to be in. Honestly.
I mean, that's half the reason I don't go over there as much, you know. Half the time you show up there and Aura is there, bothering Granny about this and the other thing, you know. Saying she has to clean, she has to cook, she has to make sure Granny's taking her medication. It's like, no. And I just don't want to deal with it.
That's very...
To be fair, if you asked her, I think, you know, she'd probably give you a very similar spiel as about me as I do her, but... You've gotten me off track. You've gotten me off track. There are still important things to discuss. And
I'll apologize. But it is interesting to hear every once in a while people's troubles.
the elephant in the room. And ironically, my Ira thinks I am so unemployed and she hates me. Hates it so much. I mentioned that Grandmère is not so as far gone as Irene believes, but she is losing something, so she hasn't noticed yet, and that's I think a blessing. But surely you and your compatriots are a little bit more eagle-eyed, no?
I'd like to think so. I mean, she's in our capable hand. Well, no, sorry. In our company, as far as we've known her, she's been very on top of things. So,
Well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear, you know. We do sort of keep an eye on it, you know. She has sort of, she's always been very, very quick, but she sort of lost a little bit of the edge, you know. So it's good to hear that she is still so in her full mind, but
that does. I don't know if it's. I call it concern, but. What would have led up to thinking that way, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, I know there must be a numerous sort of thing, but quite honestly, in our travels with her, she hasn't exuded anything that was necessarily alarming.
well, you know, it is, you're right, it is a bunch of small things, you know, misplacing things here and there. She loses track of time more often. I must admit, I am, again, a relatively new transplant, but I've been here long enough to see some of it. I think the biggest issue is that she doesn't know what I do for a living yet. It's not like I hide it very much, but
Yes, it was interesting. We did ask her, and she said something about numbers.
yes, that is what I told her. Well, to be fair, I do quite a bit of accounting, but uh, and he's kind of looking at you,
Julius,
like trying to see if you're getting what he's putting down.
Julius just kind of raises an eyebrow a little bit, probably crosses a leg over his knee.
Well, you know, it's the way I like to put it is I provide a very lovely service for this town. They don't have much out here. A university, sure, some rice paddies, but really, in all honesty, my friends and I are not even my friends, my
Associates.
associates, good word. Make sure that everything here runs very smoothly and the way it should run, you know, and not with very little interruptions. Of course, we take payment for our services, but it is genuine.
Julius nods.
Of course, some people look down on this, but We are filling a bit of a role that is otherwise neglected in little out of the way towns like this.
I see.
But I can imagine if Grandmère were to indeed become aware of the actual sort of details of that service, she might become very distressed. And you know, I know I am not very subtle. I mean, and he kind of motions to the room around you.
No. Uh, it's not anything to necessarily be, what's the word for it? It's not anything terrible, I'd say. It's, in its own way, very tasteful.
Thank you, thank you. I at least try to be classy about it if I cannot be secretive. And why be secretive? It's more fun to be loud. But that is my point, Julius. Even with all of this, she has not, I mean, I do admit I do mislead her a little bit. I've told her, I work with numbers and money, and I work with very important clientele, but it's not as if that's a lie, but it sort of skirts the truth. And really, a woman of her intelligence as she was in her younger years really should not be missing this. So she is a little dull, I think. Not fully. That sounded very rude. I did not mean to insist. This language is so hard. I'm much smarter. I'm much smarter in Palondian, I promise you.
You sound quite smart, don't worry. Language isn't the only thing that shows knowledge.
Thank you, I appreciate it. You're a charmer. But
he gives a wink.
She is, she is starting to struggle a little bit more. And I would very much hate if we were to add to that distress by illuminating those details. You understand?
He's just gonna kind of ruminate on it a little bit. It's not that he doesn't understand, he's just thinking about it. And then he nods.
Excellent. I'm glad you understand. It is just, if she were younger and I were to bring her fully in, she would even be a great asset, but it would be a shame to put more stress on her if we don't need to. That is all.
What makes you so confident that she hasn't already figured it out and she just doesn't want to worry you both?
He gives you a look that's something kind of like, well, I consider myself very, very adept at knowing when people are lying to me, Julius. It's part of the trade. And bless her heart, she's not a very good liar.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
I mean, I pretty much know the answer, but I'm still gonna... Okay, that's a pretty good roll. What's my insight? 22?
He seems to genuinely believe this.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I feel like there's just, like, the slightest glimmer of, like, not necessarily giving up, but like a... What's the word for it? Kind of like resignation. Not exactly genuine, but it's still like a damn.
It, again, Ara is insistent that she is much more gone, and I think she's insane. But Ara would never listen to me, not in a million years. So it does not matter what I think. No, of course not. Whatever.
She did try to convince us, that we're terrible for her and we should just leave her to rest here and...
Oh, I'm sure of it. She's so overprotective, you know. That's part of why we don't get along, you know. She's so insistent. She's the only one who can take care of her, you know. It's He sort of rolls his eyes.
Love makes you do very many things, especially for people you care about deeply. It's not that it's the right thing, but, you know.
I know, but it means I have to care for her in my own little ways off to the sides where I won't see. But it's fine. Between the two of us, I think we get the job done.
I'll believe you.
Granny is the light of my life. She is the only family I have left, and I would surely hate for anything to harm her, but if anything, Julius, I would be hoping that you would be willing to look after her a little bit longer for me.
That would be no trouble at all.
He smiles at you. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, maybe a couple of days for her to recover and then out on the road?
We'll see what she feels up to doing. That was something we talked with Ara about. She wasn't too keen on it, but I think a discussion with Granny about, you know, her limits should have been discussed with her in the room.
Yeah, of course, but the sooner the better, I think.
Julius is just going to uncross his legs a little bit. Give a little bit of an eyebrow raise.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julius. I can't quite be that loose-lipped.
I mean, how am I supposed to protect your dear grandmother? The best I can with not even the slightest bit of knowledge.
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 20. What
yes!
is my 28?
Oh
Get it.
my god!
Tits
sort of...
slightly out.
Hell yeah.
20.
He sort of rubs his hands together, like his palms together, like he's thinking about it. Not a word of this leaves this room, yes?
You have my word. No, my promise.
Good, because I don't... By the look of you, though it's a very good look, I don't know how much your word is entirely worth, so...
Wise man.
I thought so. You look a little bit like a scoundrel. And he kind of, like, does that little, like, growl bite at the air at you.
Ooh.
I love him.
They have... Everybody with A names is into Julius.
Yeah, that's true. Julius's tail does do that little, like, flick thing that cats do. Shit-eating grin.
My associates and my predecessor here, we've been doing business in this town for quite a long time now, you know. We've been very happily providing our services. Every once in a while, some upstarts think that just because it's sleepy and out of the way, and I am not so big of a name here, that it's a little bit easier pickings to do what they want under my nose. And never is it ever really a problem to deal with such competition. Inferior competition, at least. It
Granted.
can get a little messy. And Grandmère does not leave her home very much anymore. And if she does, she's going to a scrapbooking group or visiting across town. And, she's never rarely ever in any direct danger. Everyone knows you don't mess with Irene Martin in this town.
Mm-hmm.
But accidents happen. And I would absolutely hate if she saw something that she did not need to.
I think that is a good idea.
Smart man. No. I think business is concluded.
Julius will kind of relax a little bit in the seat.
You're getting a bit of a look, TM.
Excellent. Slow wag of the tail a little bit. Just cause.
You said you enjoyed the wine last night.
It was excellent. I admit I haven't had the chance to have very many vintages of that age.
Well, I have a number in my collections that I am willing to drink now. Again, although some are not touchable. Collector's items.
Understandable.
How would you feel about a sparkling about 5 years younger?
Very interested.
I'll get one of my associates to fetch it, and he stands up and sort of is out of the room for a couple of minutes, and then comes back, and you have all of his attention.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent. I think Julius will just enjoy himself. He's still thinking about what's happened, but he's like, fuck it.
I'm gonna be short. Ando's pretty good.
Nice. Nice.
He's considerably smaller, so it's a little creative, but it gets done.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Julius hasn't had fun in a while. Might as well.
And it is fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Sorry,
Nudge,
Granny,
nudge.
I did sleep with your grandson.
Oh no! Do we,
Oh, I've already told PK.
Okay.
It would be a little bit funny if you hadn't.
Yeah.
No, I had to.
Yeah, that's fair.
You are all
Elf.
able to meet up back at Irene's house before dinner, when Irene will return to you. If you wish to have another inter-party conversation without her, you may.
I would fill in the party after my time with Ando. Just to let them know, oh god, maybe I shouldn't, we're not doing this in public,
No, this is at Granny's house.
Yeah, this is...
Luke is not gonna enjoy me talking about this, but there is definitely turf war shit, probably. He's worried that Granny might get in the middle of it. Not exactly as, like, you know, a pawn or something, but mostly, you know, wrong place, wrong time, civilian shit.
And she is... Anyone who spent, like... Within 5 minutes, we knew that he doted on her. So, Does that mean he thinks something is imminent?
Within the next, what was it, 3 days or something like that?
He wants her out of town in the next couple of days, yeah.
Okay.
That's concerning.
We got one grandchild who does not want her to leave, and
One that's telling her to get the fuck out right now.
yep.
We know for a fact that he and his cousin don't really get along, and I have a feeling it's because they're on opposite sides, which makes sense.
I might have missed. Did we get the impression that he knew
I
that?
think I remember Irene saying something about their parents also hated each other.
Mm-hmm.
That could also...
So,
I will say, in talking with him, Julius, you did not get the sense that when he was complaining about her being quote-unquote, like, unemployed, that was not a euphemism.
Okay, so neither of them. Oh boy.
Neither of them are employed.
so be ready for trouble and expect to need to sort of talk Irene around.
Yeah.
How much of this are we willing to tell her?
Well, Hondo doesn't necessarily want us saying anything about who he's involved with. I can already make a guess of what he is. It's not very inobvious.
No, he's about as subtle as...
Subtle as a peacock.
Not the example I was going to use, but works better.
Either way, I think he wasn't lying when he was saying he cares for her in his own little ways. I'm sure he's...
That was very much the read I got on him when we had dinner there.
Mm-hmm. I will mention he had said something about stepping in for somebody else who had once been here before. When did he... do I remember when he came to,
He did not mention.
Okay. Damn.
Has Irene mentioned?
Nope.
Okay.
You don't know the timeline of a lot of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I would have been thinking, I would have asked. Dang. Oh well. We can always get that another time.
He might not have answered.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Points at Julius. Have you seen this man? I don't know.
A big old mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't know what to do about this. I don't like hiding things from Granny. She doesn't deserve that. But then again, I don't know. I've never had a grandparent. She's like the first one. I mean, I know I have some, but I've just, you know, the family situation's like that for me. Anyways.
I think some of it also comes down to the question of, is this information that is going to bite her or us as a whole in the ass if we do not pre-prepare for it? My inclination is yes, but this is not my area of expertise.
Oh, I really don't know.
Okay.
Mia's brain is not working. I'm not sure.
Just about to end session once you are all satisfied with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex has
So
no idea.
take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Take it as it comes. Roll with the punches, and try to keep any of us from getting killed.
Oh yeah. No, that
what
was
we've been
always
doing,
main
right?
plan. Main plan: keep Granny safe and out of.
So the usual plan. No, I understand.
We'll go with our plan A, and if plan A doesn't work, we'll work down the line to the other ones we can haphazardly make as we go.
I mean, maybe Granny already knows more than she lets on, and it won't be like we're, maybe we won't be telling her anything she doesn't already know.
Perhaps. I don't know. Anda was under the impression that with her not really putting two and two together with him being a crime boss, or at the very least being involved with it, that she's become less sharp.
Maybe she just doesn't want to know.
I mean, that was the impression I was hoping for. I don't know. I can't read Granny's thoughts. But
I think that's where we're going to end session.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.